Do you ever get angry or upset about a situation, circumstance, policy, or event? In today's world, there are so many potentially triggering issues. The injustice being played out in the U.S. court system, the decimation of the world's rainforests, the danger to our natural food supply from GMOs, the lack of funding for education, the ongoing lack of equality, the radiation from nuclear disaster, global warming, the list could go on and on and on. In my younger years, I spent quite a bit of time raging against the machine. I protested against cruelty to children and animals. I protested against inequality toward women and gays. I protested against the medical establishment for pushing birth interventions and vaccines. I protested large corporations for forcing baby formula and other things onto new mothers. My family still teases me about the time when my mother-in-law asked me to ship her fur coat. She'd gone out of town for the holidays and forgotten her jacket. And at that time, I was holding on to this extreme againstness toward people who killed animals for their fur. I said no, that I couldn't do that. She said she understood my point, and she asked if I would do this as a special favor to her. And because she didn't have anybody else who could get the coat to her in time. I very begrudgingly agreed to do this, and then I filled that coat box with PETA pamphlets and pictures of abused animals just to make my point. It didn't go over very well. Not only did I not change my mother-in-law's mind about wearing fur, it just made me look really bad. I had taken my anger out on her, and she viewed me as angry, irrational, immature, and so forth as a result of my impulsive gesture. Another way of putting it is that I had viewed her as unkind toward animals, and I had treated her unkindly. All she received out of this was my unkindness. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." When we engage in againstness towards something, we are actually taking up a stance of hatred or intolerance. What happens energetically is that we're actually pushing against that thing that we do not like. So that thing is forced to push back. And this is what is known as war mentality. Two sides who are pushing back and forth. Both sides are trying to be right and trying to make the other side wrong, which just begets more fear, more hatred, and more againstness. There is no right or wrong from your soul's perspective. There is only infinite love and acceptance for all that is. There's a universal law that states what you focus on expands. If you are focusing on all of the things that you hate or are against, you will simply create more of that same to feel angry about. In order to experience peace, you must move into an internal state of neutrality and begin to view everything through eyes of love and compassion. A few years ago, I had an energetic experience where I was filled with gold light, and I expanded out into oneness with everything all around me. My sensory awareness stretched to include everything within a couple-mile radius, and rather than seeing actual physical form, everything was light. All of the people were energy beings with this light beaming out of their center. The plants and the trees were made of light. The buildings, the trash cans, the cars, the telephone poles were all made out of gold light. There were strings of light in line in stores made out of light. There were lights having arguments in buildings made out of light. There were lights laughing on park benches made out of light. There were lights making love on beds made out of light. Lights crying on chairs made out of light. It was just all light everywhere. I was the light, and the light was me. It was just one big, giant, golden web of light. Everything, all that is, all connected, all divinely loved, all made out of divine love, just learning and growing together. This profound experience left me with a visceral awareness of the innate oneness of all that is. I am you, and you are me. We are totally connected and one at the being level. As I was writing this, I started to write this line, "You are everything, and everything is you." And then I just cracked up and went, wait a minute, didn't Diana Ross sing that? I just cracked up. I think those were lyrics from a sad love song, but the truth is joy-filled, awe-inspiring, and divinely beautiful. You are one with everything. And therefore, if you express hatred, violence, or disgust with anything, you're really just hating on yourself. This can be a tough concept to understand. There's an American Indian story of the two wolves. The father tells the child, "We each have two wolves inside, an angry wolf and a loving wolf." And the child asks, "Which wolf wins?" The father replies, "Whichever one you feed." In what ways are you holding in againstness towards situations or things? Do you judge the economy, the government, the penal system, the weather, the giant corporations? Be willing to look deeply at how you view your outer world circumstances. Since you are everything, you don't want to starve out the angry wolf and have it die. On the contrary, you just want to love it up. If you can focus on feeding the loving, you will actually heal the ego or personality. This could be viewed as the angry or upset wolf. And this part will gradually integrate and come into alignment with your soul, which could be viewed as the loving wolf. See everything as an outpicturing of your loving source. Begin to view all that is occurring as part of someone's spiritual curriculum. Hold in compassion for the suffering going on around you whenever someone else's lack of consciousness is brought to your attention. If you want to be of greater global service, just place your focus on what you want rather than on what you don't want. Don't waste time feeding or pushing against what you don't want to see. For instance, if you don't like seeing genetically modified food, begin to focus your attention on supporting healthy, natural, organic foods. Buy organic foods. Grow your own natural food. Support laws that preserve natural farming. Speak out in support of natural foods, and so forth. Drop all againstness and place 100% of your focused attention on what you wish to create, and then see it as done. Say, "I am one with everything, and everything is love." Action step. Let go of feeding the anger. Drop into neutrality and compassion and begin to feed whatever you wish to see multiply with love. Declaration. Everything is love. Everything that occurs is a part of the whole, an intrinsic part of the divine plan of love. I am one with everything at the being level. I now view everything through eyes of love and compassion, no matter what. And I feed that which I want to create more of with my loving, focused attention. Many blessings of joy and vibrant freedom